Welcome, Alpha Warriors. You're watching Alpha 7 Media, and I'm your host, Diana. And today we're going to do a little reading time, and I changed up my forum because I was doing little clips on my phone and trying to upload on the computer, and it was taking too many hours. It was driving me insane, and I felt bad not going through this book because this book is so important, because it goes into how they use soft language to deceive and to hide the truth. And you hear that a lot lately, right? Especially the buzzwords, safe and effective when it comes to certain items, right? So I'm definitely going to read a few pages. So what I did, guys, this is the best I could do. Bear with me. I'm just going to do a few pages to see how it looks, in a vid. And I think the style is good, because I have many books, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Have the phone, up close, to each page, because I wanted you guys to see the pages as I'm reading so you can see for yourself. If you don't have the book, this way you can see what's in the book. You can take screenshots and you can see how language can be used as a weapon. Because if you just flip the words around, right, it says the word sword. So they do that a lot, and they hide a lot of atrocities. I was reading a lot of different stories about the actions that's taken place since 9/11, and how there's been atrocity done to humanity, and they hide it under different names. They don't just call killing and genocide what it is anymore, They call it things like unlawful deprivation of life. They try to make it sound less than what it is. Like they say, the term shell shock, which a lot of people are feeling right now because we're experiencing a type of future shock where there's so much change. This society is pretty traumatic. And they said that, after, of all the name changing, with time, it has been diluted into the term post-traumatic stress disorder, which doesn't sound as awful as shell shock, So that's what they do. They make things that are horrendous, that are a total abomination, incomprehensible, actions. They soften it with certain words so people don't think it's so bad. So I'm going to try it like this, and that way I can zoom it up and you can see. I'm definitely, when I put out a book, I definitely want to go through all of it so and I have different types of books. So if I see one that's applicable to what's going on, it's kind of like, this is my segment. It's a throwback to the PBS, Reading Rainbow. I used to love that show, even though the books were it wasn't even really about the books. It was about how Mr. Burton at the time was making children excited about reading again, which is really important, because when you read it for yourself and you see the words in print, no one can tell you it ain't that way or whatever. That's why don't listen to what people say. Read for yourself. It's so crucial, because that way it's ingrained. Just think of that movie, Short Circuit, like Johnny Five, he's like, I need input. I used to love that show. So, movie rather. So let me read a little bit. We stopped on page 28. So maybe I can bring it even closer, because my Zoom is a little Oh, great. So this can help. And I think we left off at the bottom of page 28 in my last vid. So I'll see how many pages I can go through. And I think it looks like, yeah, it got the whole page. So I didn't cut any words off, which is great. So this could be a really good format for anyone who has books and they want to show people. It was really a lot easier for me to just scan the pages that I'm going to read. That way the audience can see, because when you do it from your phone, anything with external hard drives, and then you upload it, it just took so many hours. And I'm like, I needed my computer for other things. I have work to do, you know? So when you do a screen record, it's like literally less than 30 minutes for the thing to be downloaded. And even if I tack on an intro, way less time, way less time. So this is the way to go. So we'll start at the bottom because that's where I believe I left off. In 1980, Consumer Reports magazine reported that Langendorf natural lemon flavored cream pie contained no cream, but does contain sodium propionate, what a strange word, certified food colors, sodium benzoate, and vegetable gum. When L. A. Cushman, Jr., who chairs American Bakeries Company, the Chicago firm that owns Langendorf, was asked about this label, he explained that the word natural modifies lemon flavored, and the pie contains oil from lemon rinds. The lemon flavor, Mr. Cushman is quoted as saying, comes from natural lemon flavor as opposed to artificial lemon flavor, assuming there is such a thing as artificial lemon flavor. See how they're just so screwy in the food industry? They make things sound natural that are not natural. So when they do label this stuff, I try to tell people there's no regulation with these evil corporations. You really got to trust your small businesses. We label everything on there. We're really careful. We take full accountability for our products, but you're not going to see a face. You just see, a corporation. You'll just get a PR person, but they'll put whatever they want on there, and you see how it had no cream in this cream pie, and you see cream pies being sold in these convenience stores. I mean, you might as well just eat the plastic that it came in. It probably has more nutrition. And but it has all of these chemicals, and like I said, it's a lot of what we eat and what we intake, guys. So oops, I lost, where did I go back, sorry. Then there are Pillsbury natural chocolate flavored chocolate, which is so funny because they say all this stuff and then there's nothing in there. So that's page 28. Let's see how we can do this. So if I go to page 29, because there wasn't a button I could press to just make it more streamlined. So that's why I'm going to make this short, because I'm trying to see how this works. I am so sorry, because sometimes when you scan it, it comes a little lopsided, and I only have so much time to do this. I'm actually on borrowed time today. So page 29. So chocolate chip cookies. Sorry that this is a little wonky, guys. I'm going to have to do it better for the next vid. Chip cookies, which contain, among other ingredients, artificial flavor and BHA. We're not trying to mislead anybody, claimed a company representative, who explained that the word natural modifies only chocolate flavored. I guess you better brush up on the syntactic structure of modification if you want to be able to read food label these days. A great example of the doublespeak of food is the claim on the label that the product doesn't contain something it wouldn't contain anyway. A kind of negative doublespeak. For example, a jar of jelly or jam may have the words "no preservatives" on it. Since sugar is all the preservative jams and jellies need, they have never had preservatives added to them. The same is true for canned products, which are preserved by the heat of the canning process. So think twice before buying the can of corn or the jar of jelly just because it is labeled "no preservatives added." You might also notice that these magic words are usually accompanied by that other magic word, natural. The use of the word natural on products reach a certain degree of absurdity when Anheuser-Busch proudly advertised its newest line of beer, Anheuser-Busch Natural Light Beer, which the Miller Brewing Company derided and then attacked. Miller correctly pointed out that beers are highly processed, complex products made with chemical additives and other components not in their natural form. The fight between the two big brewers caused some concern in the beer industry. I lost my place. I'm reading from the book. Let's see. Where we go? The Wall Street Journal. I'm going to read from the book then. Let's see. Quoted William T. Elliott, president of the C. Schmidt and Sons, a Philadelphia brewery, as saying, "One thing other brewers are worried about is all the fuss over ingredients. Publicity about that issue is disclosing to beer drinkers that their suds may include sulfuric acid, calcium fulgate, alginic acid, or amyloglucosidase. So much for natural beer." That's messed up, guys. I like to drink beer too. I guess you got to be careful, you beer drinkers out there, unless you're making it in your backyard with the barley and all that. We need to go back to the natural way. Why not pick up the hobby of learning how to make beer? After 8 years of trying to regulate advertising claims involving natural foods, the Federal Trade Commission decided in 1982 to give up. Companies are not required to make a calorie disclosure for foods that have such magic words as energy, natural, or light on their labels. You're on your own when you try to figure out what these words on any food label means. So when people think, oh, they're buying from like a corporation, not as reputable as people would like to think. So we're on page 30. Hopefully that one came out a bit more clear. Of course, I had some smudges that I was trying to clean on the scanner, on the printer, because I use stamps on my documents with a thumbprint, and so if it's not dry all the way, guys, it's gonna like land on there, so be careful with that for all my law aficionados. So right here, natural or light on their labels. You're on your own when you try to figure out what these words on any food label mean. Deep chilled chicken. Even that all-American food, which is not all-American, guys, unless you're dealing with this, like the pheasant, because I guess the modern chicken, guys, are hybrids and they're actually not clean animals to be eaten. So that's why like they push it so hard. So be careful out there. I gave up chicken. I'd say it's been about a year. I don't miss it. There's other meats you could eat. Even that all-American food chicken can be the victim of deceptive labeling. You may have learned at one time that at a temperature of 32 degrees Fahrenheit, water and other things freeze. But chicken doesn't freeze at that temperature, at least not according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the chicken processors, who consider processed chickens fresh, not frozen, if they have been chilled to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Bill Hafford, the editor of the trade journal Broiler Industry, said in 1981 that the industry term is deep chilling, and that such chickens have not been frozen but deep chilled, and can therefore be sold as fresh chickens. Maybe the people who thought up this doublespeak should be packed in ice and have their temperature lowered to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we could ask them if they're fresh, deep chilled, or frozen. But even the 28 degree standard hasn't really applied, because chickens are considered fresh and not frozen if government inspectors can depress the flesh of the chicken with their thumbs. So in 1988, the Department of Agriculture announced that it was considering a new policy. The word fresh could not be used on any chicken if it had been frozen or previously reduced to a temperature of 26 degrees Fahrenheit or below. The chicken industry immediately fought the proposed standard. It makes you wonder just how fresh all those deep-chilled chickens being sold these days are. The next time you buy fresh chicken, you might ask whether the chicken has been deep-chilled. Exactly. Unless you're raising them in the backyard, right? And taking care of them yourself. That's what my mom did back in the day. We literally had chickens, and she used to break their necks and pluck their feathers and all that crazy crap. It was crazy. But that's what farmers do. That's what rural people do, you know? I wasn't raised in the rural area, but my parents were raised in a village in the Azores, so that was their way of life. And it was too funny, right, when some of these people try to acclimate that into these cities, right, and packing these chickens in basements or whatever. It ain't the way. But yeah, I always advocate getting a piece of land and doing things right if you're going to do it. Picowaved food. Have you guys ever heard that term? That's interesting. The latest innovation in the food industry is irradiated food, or food that has been treated with ionizing or gamma radiation. Isn't that nice? More radiation, like we need that. Let's see. Page 31. Let's see. Let me switch that over. Okay, I guess I gotta resort to my book. I'm sorry if it's a little fuzzy, bear with me. It's really hard, like, to try to get the whole book in there. So let me read that sentence I did before. The latest innovation in the food industry is irradiated food, or food that has been treated with ionizing or gamma radiation to extend the shelf life or kill insects. While ionizing or gamma radiation isn't radioactive, it is suspected of causing chemical changes in food, changes whose safety has been questioned by some scientists and consumer groups. But the government and the food industry decided to go ahead with irradiated food. Now, nobody in the food industry wanted to put the word radiation on a food package, as Ellen Green, a spokesperson for the National Food Process Association, said. The word radiation is a scary word. What then could the food industry and the Food and Drug Administration do? At first, the FDA recommended that irradiated food carry labels referring to gamma and ionized radiation, but the Department of Health and Human Services, the agency with final say in these matters, opposed any form of labeling. However, the agency gave in to public pressure and sought a creative solution. It considered the labels gamma and ionized to be too negative, so it chose the word Picowave instead. See, so watch out for that word Picowave. It means it's been irradiated with gamma waves and ionized waves, which can cause mutations in the food, thus mutations in you. That's basically the point. The word Picowave has no real meaning. It was created by a company in California and was designed to be similar to the word microwave, which is a completely different kind of radiation, but it's a word very familiar to the public. Thus, foods that have been irradiated will be labeled Picowaved. An industry spokesperson said that from a public relations standpoint, it is more pleasant to the ear than gamma radiation or electromagnetic energy. Secretary of Health and Human Services Margaret Heckler called the labeling an important step forward for consumers. Yeah, right. You know what? Said U.S. Senator Howard Mezzenbaum. It's the ultimate in untruth in advertising. Picowave food will also carry an international symbol, which looks like a little flower inside a broken circle. The circle is supposed to represent the radiation facility. There is a black dot in the middle of the circle, which is supposed to represent the source of the radiation, and the petals of the flowers represent the irradiated food. Before you buy the Picowaved food with the cute little flower symbol on it, you might ask yourself what it is you're really buying. Makes me think of Target too, with the circle, their logo. So that's really interesting. Let me see if I have time for one more page, because this I was trying to do up until 33. I'll see how fast I can get into it, guys, because I gotta be somewhere. The next one is mechanically separated meat. Well, this one came out clear, so that's great. So maybe we'll leave it on this page. That way, because there's so many topics, right? Because I said chapter 2 was going to really go into the food. So like there's like section after section, so I don't want to like mess it all up. So I'll leave my bookmark on this page, and then we'll like go, pick up on 33. The next time you want to buy some hot dogs, sausage, luncheon, meat, scrapple, or canned spaghetti with meat sauce, you might want to read the list of ingredients on the label very carefully. Does the list of ingredients include mechanically separated meat? Do you know what MSM, as it is called in the food trade, is? Here's the recipe. Take the salvage remnants of slaughtered animals, remnants that include bones, connecting tissue, and attached scraps of meat. Pass this collection of scraps through a grinder, and then press the mixture through sieves until most of the bone is filtered out. Some pieces of ground bone are always left in the mixture, but hey, no process is perfect. Until 1982, this stuff was called salvaged meat, but for some reason, it just wasn't selling. Probably because manufacturers were required to label the amount of powdered bone the mixture contained. Then the U.S. Department of Agriculture came to the rescue. Suddenly, salvaged meat became mechanically separated meat, and the list of ingredients on a label would no longer have to include ground bone. All that would have to be listed was mechanically separated meat and the amount of calcium in the average serving. The meat processing industry still wasn't happy, though, so in 1988, Bob Evans Farms Incorporated, the Odom's Sausage Company. Guys, that sounds like Odin. If you're spiritual and you know about spiritual warfare, you already know who these families are and these lineages are that own these corporations. Really waking people up to that. Look, the Sara Lee Corporation and Owen Country Sausage, Inc. petitioned the Department of Agriculture to allow hot dogs and other products to contain up to 10% MSM without listing it as an ingredient on the label. Read those food labels fast, because soon even the innocuous phrase mechanically separated meat will no longer be there. But don't worry, the amount of calcium per serving will still be listed, because the ground bone will still be there. That's funny. It's morbidly funny. I know, exactly. And that's page 32. So yeah, sometimes when they use the word natural, guys, it is far from it. Far from it. But I'm going to keep this short because I got to be out. And I just wanted to see how this would look. And I think this is the way to go if you're reading a book and you're trying to show people the pages. Because I was trying to use my phone. No mas. That was terrible. So I hope this was like easier on the eyes. That way you can see. But I'll make sure to like put the book flatter. It's really tough to get like those inner creases. But I will not be deterred, because I am very tenacious. I've been called very tenacious. So there you go. And the author, William Lutz, he is very, very interesting. Is this how he looks like? Because I'm not sure. Maybe. Let's see. Is that? It could be. That could be the author right there. And yeah, when you hear in the media, when they say peace, they mean this. When they say freedom, they mean that. When they say strength, they mean this. And people don't understand, like, they have their own dictionary they go by. They use codes, they use colors, they use numerology. And unless you're hip to that language, sorry, I got like a piece of my shirt underneath sticking out, trying to keep that there. This shirt's really hard to wear. But yeah, so you definitely have to really be careful, because the doublespeak is being used constantly. And so we're here to at least show a little bit of what's going on. Because let me tell you, no matter where you go, that's what you're getting. You're getting it in these news media outlets. You're getting it with the campaign that's going on right now with the scorpion sting, and people, people calling themselves heroes when they're actually perpetuating crimes against humanity. I've been seeing that a lot. They're like, oh, you're pushing the status quo, so you're a hero. It's like, really? Unbelievable that people can't see the evil for what it is. But I hope that this was a little easier to watch. And if you haven't visited me on eBay, please do. I just made this little gift pack because a lot of people are showing signs of negative effects. They're getting autoimmune issues, guys, inflammation left and right, skin inflammation. So if anybody, I did a vid on it on my Diet Dash, my primary channel, which I'll put a link below if you haven't checked me on there. Oops. See, I sealed it with plastic and everything. So this is cannabis leaf. Let's see if you can see. Another term is cannabis leaf. It's the leaves. It's not the flowers. And if people didn't know, yes, you can make tea with it. This work was done many years ago by Tien van der Maas. I believe it was like a European naturopath. So this has been around for a long time. This has so many uses: inflammation, MS symptoms, pain. Even for pain, it will go in and it will quench things down. I've taken it myself. Very good stuff. And it comes with activated charcoal, which will detox all the nasties. Well, as much as you can. But I hear there's graphene oxide in the scorpion sting. So this will be attracted to it. Okay, this really will pull out heavy metals and you'll pass it through. Okay, so obviously it's good to have like a weekend to yourself, a day to yourself where you can detox, because that's part of self-care. And most people don't realize that, like, that will cause migraines, that will cause so much if you're built in with toxins. I've been there, done that. Okay, I have several different packets. Use my dash deal 10 code, guys. It's a private code, 10% off for all my viewers. I usually just give it to my Diet Dash viewers, but I love you guys too. So if you wanna do a little shopping, I have some tea. I got smaller packets too. It's called the Kadesh Gardens Detox and Replenish Rescue. So I show you, I have pomades. I'm going to make more stuff. I have essential oil perfumes, all really natural. I label everything. I mean, I was up late last night researching. I spent a lot of time to make sure I'm doing this right for the people who need it. Okay, I don't mess around. Okay, I don't play with people's health like these corporations do. Like this book will show you that they do, and that's why I like doing vids like this too, to show you with the language that they can promote all this crap, but then you read the ingredients and they have all these chemicals in it, and people have more faith to spend all this money on something that won't work, but yet be so scared to try something that's ancient and it's effective and it's actually biblical. Like this tea, this leaf is in the Bible, mistranslated, definitely misrepresented. So I hope that this was helpful in just uncovering some of this stuff. But I'll do vids like this too, my reading time segment. Definitely so interesting, this book. So I definitely want to cover it. And we'll pick another book. I have a mini library at home, so I'll just pick another book with another great topic and show you for yourself. And if you want to purchase it yourself, great. If not, you have it on audio. I'm reading it, and yeah, I'll stumble sometimes and stuff, but I'll get better with it, with time too, because I'm fitting this into my busy day. So I'm like, my mind's going like a mile a minute or whatever. So thanks so much, and I hope you have an amazing day. And like I said, visit me on Dia Dash. If I have time this weekend, I'll try to put a vid up. If not, on Monday I'll come back. So just stay safe out there. And a lot of things happen on the weekend. So try to be low key, as they say, as the youngins say, right? So thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.